The rain fell without mercy. Cold. Heavy. Endless. It struck the narrow prison window in uneven rhythms, like time itself had forgotten how to move forward. Mia Lin sat on the edge of the metal bed, her fingers loosely wrapped around a thin blanket that did nothing to keep out the chill. The room smelled of rust and silence. 3 years. 3 years since she took the blame. 3 years since her family promised, just endure this for now. We'll fix everything. They never came. Not once. No visits. No letters. No explanations. Only silence. A guard's footsteps echoed down the corridor. Slow. Indifferent. Mia didn't look up. She already knew. Her body had been failing for weeks. Exhaustion, untreated illness, the quiet decay of someone no longer needed by the world. The cell door opened. Mia Lin, the guard called flatly. No response. He stepped closer. And then, he stopped. By the time the rain softened, Mia Lin was already gone. Forgotten. Alone. Darkness swallowed everything. But then, light. Mia's eyes snapped open. She inhaled sharply, her lungs burning as if she had been underwater. Warm air. Soft sheets. The faint scent of jasmine. Her fingers clenched. This wasn't the prison. She sat up abruptly. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears as her gaze swept across the room. Familiar. Too familiar. The pale curtains. The wooden desk. The framed family photo on the bedside table. Her reflection trembled in the mirror across the room. Young. Unharmed. Alive. No. Her voice was barely a whisper. She stumbled out of bed, her legs weak, and moved toward the mirror. The girl staring back at her was her. 3 years younger. Before everything. Her breath grew uneven. This was the day. The beginning. A sudden knock at the door. Mia, are you awake? Helen Lin's voice, soft, warm, practiced. Mia froze. For a moment, something fragile stirred inside her. A reflex. A habit. The urge to answer gently. To be the daughter they expected. Then. A flash. Cold prison walls. Empty doorways. Silence. Her expression hardened. I'm awake, she replied, her voice steady. The door opened. Helen stepped in, carrying a gentle smile that never quite reached her eyes. You're up early, she said. Good. Your father wants to discuss something important at breakfast. Important. Mia already knew what that meant. The dining room was bright. Sunlight spilled across the polished table, illuminating a picture-perfect family scene. Victor Lin sat at the head, reading a document. Jason leaned back casually, scrolling through his phone. Lily sipped her coffee, barely glancing up. Everything looked normal. It almost made her laugh. Mia, Victor said without looking up, sit. She obeyed. Not out of submission. But observation. Victor placed the document on the table and slid it toward her. I need you to review these accounts, he said calmly. Mia's eyes dropped to the pages. Numbers. Transactions. Hidden inconsistencies buried beneath layers of careful manipulation. Illegal transfers. The very beginning of the scandal. In her past life. This was where it started. Where she noticed the flaws. Where she stepped in. Where she fixed everything. Something wrong? Jason asked lazily, glancing at her. Mia looked up. His expression was relaxed, confident, careless. She remembered how that confidence shattered. How he cried when the investigation closed in. How he said, "You're better at this than me. Just handle it." Mia. Helen's voice softened. "You're good with these things. Help your father." There it was. Expectation. Pressure. Control disguised as trust. Mia lowered her gaze again. For a brief moment. Her fingers tightened on the paper. The old instinct surfaced. Fix it. Protect them. Hold everything together. Then. Another memory. The courtroom. The sentence. The way her father didn't meet her eyes. Her grip loosened. There are some inconsistencies, she said calmly. Victor nodded. Then correct them. A simple command. Like always. Mia looked directly at him. And for the first time, she didn't agree. I don't think I should be involved, she said. Silence. Jason frowned. What do you mean? It's not my responsibility, Mia replied. Her voice was quiet, but firm. Lily let out a small laugh. Since when do you say no? Victor's gaze sharpened. Mia, he said slowly, this concerns the family. The family. Mia met his eyes. And something in her expression made the room feel colder. Yes, she said softly. I know. She stood up. No hesitation. No apology. I have something to do, she added. And then she walked away. Behind her, the silence cracked. What's wrong with her? Jason muttered. Helen looked uneasy. She's just tired. Victor said nothing. But his eyes darkened. Upstairs, Mia closed her door quietly. Her breathing was steady, controlled. She walked to her desk, opened a drawer, and took out a small flash drive. In her past life, this was where she stored the evidence. Before she erased it. Before she destroyed everything that could have saved her. This time, she inserted it into her laptop. The screen flickered. Files opened. Transactions appeared. Truth, raw and untouched. Mia stared at it. No fear. No hesitation. She copied everything. Every file. Every detail. Every secret. When it was done, she leaned back in her chair. Her reflection faintly visible on the dark screen. This time, she murmured. Her eyes were calm, but something deeper burned beneath the surface. I won't save you. Outside, the sun continued to shine. Warm. Bright. Unaware that something irreversible had already begun. Morning came quietly. Too quietly. Mia Lin woke before her alarm. For a moment, she didn't move. The ceiling above her was still unfamiliar in the strangest way, like returning to a place that once felt like home, but now only carried echoes. She turned her head slightly. Sunlight filtered through the curtains. Warm. Gentle. Alive. Not like the prison. She sat up slowly, her expression calm. Yesterday had changed everything. Not because of what she did, but because of what she didn't do. Downstairs, the house was already awake. Voices drifted faintly through the walls. Tension. Subtle, but present. Mia walked into the dining room. The atmosphere shifted the moment she entered. Jason looked up briefly, his brows furrowed. Lily avoided her gaze. Helen forced a smile. Victor remained composed, but his silence carried weight. Mia, Helen said gently, sit. I made your favorite. Mia glanced at the table. All familiar. All carefully arranged. Thank you, she replied, taking her seat. Her tone was polite. Distant. Victor placed his cup down with precision. Have you reconsidered what I said yesterday? Straight to the point. No warmth. Mia picked up her spoon. No. The word landed softly, but it echoed. Jason scoffed. You're being dramatic. It's just numbers. Mia looked at him. Just numbers. She remembered the courtroom again. How those numbers became evidence. How they built a case. How they destroyed her life. Then you should handle it, she said calmly. Jason's expression hardened. I don't have time for this. Neither do I. Silence. Lily frowned. Why are you acting like this? It's annoying. Mia didn't respond. She simply continued eating. Victor finally spoke. His voice low. Controlled. You are part of this family. Mia placed her spoon down. Looked up. Met his eyes. I know, she said. A pause. Then. But that doesn't mean everything is mine to fix. The air turned cold. Helen quickly intervened. Mia, your father didn't mean. I understand what he meant, Mia interrupted gently. Not rude. Not emotional. Just, final. She stood again. Just like yesterday. I have plans today, she added. Jason laughed bitterly. Since when are you so busy? Mia glanced at him. For a brief second. Something sharp flickered in her eyes. Since I learned the cost of being available, she said. And then she left. The door closed behind her. This time, the silence lingered longer. Heavier. Outside, the air felt different. Freedom always did. Mia walked down the street without a clear destination. But her mind was precise. Every step measured. Every decision intentional. She stopped at a small cafe. Quiet. Uncrowded. Safe. Inside, she chose a corner seat. Ordered coffee. And opened her laptop. The files were still there. Untouched. Unaltered. Truth in its purest form. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Not trembling. Not hesitant. Last time. She deleted everything. Protected them. Erased every trace. This time. She selected a single file. The smallest one. Almost insignificant. And sent it. An anonymous tip. No name. No trace. Just enough. She leaned back. Watching the screen. Waiting. Nothing happened. Of course not. Not yet. But she knew how this worked. She had lived through it. Truth didn't explode. It spread. Slowly. Quietly. Until it couldn't be contained. Mia Lin. A voice broke her thoughts. She looked up. A man stood near her table. Tall. Composed. Sharp eyes that missed nothing. Noah Park, he said, offering a slight nod. We met at your father's office last month. Mia remembered. The lawyer. Observant even then. Yes, she said. I remember. Mind if I sit? She gestured lightly. Go ahead. He took the seat across from her. His gaze briefly flicked to her laptop screen. Then back to her. You seem different, he said. Direct. Mia closed the laptop. Calm. Do I? She asked. He studied her. Not intrusive. But precise. Most people don't change overnight, he said. Mia tilted her head slightly. And if they do? She asked. Noah didn't answer immediately. Then something significant must have happened, he said. Mia held his gaze. For a moment. Time felt still. Too much had happened. More than he could imagine. Maybe, she said softly. Noah leaned back slightly. Well, he added, if you ever need legal advice. I'd recommend choosing your side carefully. Her lips curved faintly. Not quite a smile. I already have, she replied. He paused. Something in her tone. Certain. Final. I see, he said. They didn't speak much after that. But when he left, he glanced back once. Mia remained in her seat. Still. Composed. But his words lingered. Choose your side carefully. She already had. And this time. She wasn't choosing them. Across the city. In a quiet office. A file was opened. Numbers reviewed. Patterns noticed. A small inconsistency. Easy to ignore. But someone didn't. Look into this, a voice said. And just like that. The first crack appeared. Back at the cafe. Mia finished her coffee. Set the cup down. And stood. Her reflection briefly caught in the window. Not the girl who once sacrificed everything. But someone else entirely. Someone who had already paid the price. And refused to pay it again. This time, she murmured. Her voice was steady. I just watch. And somewhere. Far beyond her reach. The truth had already begun to move. The news didn't break loudly. It never did. It started as a whisper. A question buried in numbers. A routine audit that should have passed unnoticed. But this time. It didn't. Mia. Victor's voice echoed through the house that evening. Sharp. Controlled. But beneath it. Something uneasy. Mia walked into the study. She already knew. Victor stood by his desk, a document in his hand. Jason paced nearby, irritation written all over his face. Helen sat on the couch, fingers tightly clasped. Lily lingered by the door, unusually quiet. The atmosphere had changed. Subtly. But undeniably. There's been an inquiry, Victor said. Mia didn't react. Jason scoffed. It's nothing serious. Just routine. Routine doesn't involve external review teams, Victor replied coldly. Silence. Victor turned to Mia. His gaze sharp. Measuring. You've seen the accounts, he said. Explain this. He handed her the document. Mia took it. Looked at it briefly. She recognized it immediately. The file she sent. The smallest piece. The first crack. It looks incomplete, she said calmly. Jason frowned. Incomplete? What does that mean? It means, Mia replied, setting the paper down, someone noticed something inconsistent. Victor's eyes narrowed. And, he pressed. Mia met his gaze. And now they'll look deeper. The words settled heavily in the room. Jason let out a frustrated breath. This is why you should have fixed it earlier. Mia looked at him. Fixed what? She asked. He stopped. Just for a second. But it was enough. Victor's voice dropped lower. More dangerous. Mia, he said, this is not the time for detachment. Detachment. In her past life. They called it responsibility. I'm not detached, she replied. I'm just not involved. The distinction was clear. And intentional. Helen finally spoke, her voice softer. More emotional. Mia, we're your family. Mia turned to her. For a moment. There was something unreadable in her eyes. I know, she said. But this time. The words carried no warmth. She stepped back slightly. You should prepare, she added. Jason snapped. Prepare for what? You're talking like this is serious. Mia looked at him. Really looked at him. At the arrogance. The denial. The same expression he wore. Right until the day everything collapsed. It is serious, she said quietly. And then. She left. Behind her, tension erupted. She's acting insane, Jason said. Victor didn't respond. Because for the first time, he wasn't certain. The next day, the news spread. Not publicly. Not yet. But within the right circles. It moved fast. Internal review initiated for Lin Group. A single sentence. But enough. Across the city, in a high-rise office. Leo Ju read the report. He leaned back in his chair. Eyes narrowing slightly. Interesting, he murmured. The Lin Group had always been careful. Too careful. For something like this to surface. Meant one thing. Someone had stopped covering it. Look deeper, he instructed. His assistant nodded. And just like that, the pressure increased. That evening, Mia sat alone in her room. The laptop glowed softly in the dim light. More files. More evidence. Untouched. She didn't send anything new. Not yet. There was no need. Truth didn't need force. It just needed space. And for the first time, it had it. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. Mia. Lily. Mia closed the laptop. Come in. Lily stepped inside, hesitant. Unusual. Can I ask you something? She said. Mia nodded slightly. Is something going to happen? Lily asked. Her voice lacked its usual arrogance. Mia studied her. In her past life, Lily cried the loudest. Not out of guilt. But fear. What do you think? Mia asked. Lily hesitated. I think, she began, then stopped. I think things feel wrong. Mia didn't answer immediately. Because she was right. Everything was wrong. It just hadn't fully surfaced yet. Yes, Mia said finally. Lily's expression tightened. Then why aren't you doing anything? She asked. There it was. Expectation. The belief that Mia would fix it. Like always. Mia stood slowly. Walked toward the window. Outside. The city lights flickered. Unbothered. Because it's not mine to fix, she said. Lily's voice rose slightly. But you always. Mia turned. And whatever Lily was about to say, disappeared. Because Mia's gaze had changed. Calm. But distant. Final. Not anymore, she said. Silence filled the room. Lily took a step back. Confused. Uneasy. For the first time. She didn't recognize her sister. Later that night, Victor made a call. His tone low. Controlled. "I want this handled," he said. A pause. "No mistakes." Another pause. Then, his expression darkened. "What do you mean the records are already flagged?" Silence. Longer this time. When he hung up, the room felt colder. Because now, even he understood. This wasn't small. This wasn't contained. And worst of all, there was no one fixing it. Back in her room, Mia stood by the window. Still. Quiet. Watching the city breathe. 3 years ago. This was the moment she stepped in. The moment she sacrificed everything. This time, she simply watched. And as the cracks spread, she didn't flinch. Because she knew. This was only the beginning. The shift from private panic to public exposure came faster than anyone expected. 3 days later, the headlines broke. Lin Group under investigation for financial irregularities. It wasn't explosive. Not yet. But it was enough. Phones started ringing before sunrise. Emails flooded in. Meetings were cancelled. Partners grew cautious. Inside the Lin house, silence ruled the morning. No one spoke at breakfast. Not even Jason. Mia sat at the table, calm as ever, stirring her tea slowly. The television in the background repeated the same report. Numbers. Speculation. Words like audit and compliance review. To anyone else, it sounded manageable. To Mia, it sounded familiar. This is getting out of hand. Jason finally broke the silence, slamming his phone down. They're blowing this up for no reason. No reason. Victor's voice cut in, cold and sharp. Jason stiffened. Victor placed a file on the table. Hard. "These are new requests from the review team," he said. "Detailed records. Transaction trails. Internal approvals." Jason didn't respond. Because for once, he didn't have one. Helen looked pale. "Can't we explain it?" Victor didn't answer immediately. Because explanations required consistency. And consistency required control. His gaze shifted. Slowly. Toward Mia. The room followed. There it was again. Expectation. Dependence. "Mia," he said, voice steady, "we need to correct the records." Correct. Such a simple word. Mia set her cup down. Gently. "No," she said. The word landed heavier this time. Jason stood up abruptly. "Are you serious right now? This is not the time to act stubborn." Mia looked at him. Unmoved. "It's not stubborn," she replied. "It's a decision." A decision to what? "Let us fall," he snapped. Mia didn't raise her voice. Didn't react emotionally. "Yes," she said. The room froze. Helen's eyes widened. "Mia." Victor's expression darkened. "You don't understand the consequences," he said. Mia met his gaze. Steady. Unshaken. "No," she said quietly. "You don't." The air turned suffocating. Jason let out a bitter laugh. "Unbelievable. After everything we've done for you." Mia cut him off. "Everything," she repeated. Her voice wasn't loud. But it was sharp enough to stop him. For a moment. No one spoke. Because something in her tone felt different. "You mean the life where I fix your mistakes," she continued. "Where I clean everything so no one else has to take responsibility." Helen's voice trembled. "Mia, that's not what this is." "It is exactly what this is," Mia said. Her gaze moved across each of them. Slowly. "But this time," she added, "I'm not part of it." Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. Victor stood up. "You are part of this family," he said firmly. Mia didn't move. "Not anymore," she replied. The words didn't sound rebellious. They sounded final. Victor stepped closer. "If this family collapses," he said, "you collapse with it." A warning. A threat. For a brief moment. Something flickered in Mia's eyes. A memory. Cold walls. Locked doors. A life already destroyed. She looked at him. And smiled. Soft. Almost gentle. I already did, she said. Victor froze. Because for the first time, he didn't understand her. That afternoon, the situation escalated. An official notice arrived. Full investigation initiated. No more speculation. No more quiet handling. This was real. Jason's panic finally surfaced. What do we do now? He demanded, pacing the room. Victor remained still. But his silence wasn't calm anymore. It was calculation. Mixed with uncertainty. Helen sat down slowly, her hands shaking. This can't be happening, she whispered. Lily stood near the stairs, watching everything unfold. Her usual confidence was gone. Mia, she said quietly. Everyone turned. Lily looked at her sister. Can't you do something? A simple question. But it carried everything. Hope. Expectation. Dependence. Mia stood near the window. Sunlight framed her figure. But her expression remained unreadable. No, she said. Lily's voice broke slightly. Why not? Mia turned. And this time, there was no softness left. Because it's your turn, she said. The words didn't make sense to them. But to Mia, they meant everything. That evening, the first official action was taken. Authorities issued a summons. Name: Jason Lin. The moment the notice arrived, everything changed. Jason stared at it. His hands trembling. No, this isn't right, he muttered. But it was. Victor took the paper. His jaw tightened. Helen covered her mouth. Lily stepped back. And Mia? Mia simply watched. Because she had seen this before. Felt it before. Lived it. Alone. Later that night, a knock came at Mia's door. She opened it. Noah Park stood there. His expression serious. We need to talk, he said. Mia stepped aside. He entered, closing the door behind him. I've reviewed the case, he said. And something doesn't add up. Mia leaned against the desk. What doesn't? She asked. Noah looked directly at her. You. Silence. You knew this would happen, he said. Not a question. A statement. Mia didn't deny it. I didn't stop it, she replied. Noah's eyes narrowed slightly. That's not the same thing, he said. Mia tilted her head. Isn't it? She asked. He studied her. Longer this time. You're not protecting them, he said. No, Mia replied. A pause. Why? He asked. The question lingered. But Mia's answer came easily. Because no one protected me, she said. Noah didn't understand fully. Not yet. But he didn't press. Then be careful, he said. Mia gave a faint smile. I am, she replied. After he left, Mia stood alone again. The house was no longer stable. Cracks had become fractures. And now, consequences had names. She looked out the window. The city lights shimmered in the distance. Unchanged. Unbothered. Just like before. But this time, she wasn't the one falling. And for the first time, she felt nothing at all. The arrest came before sunrise. No warning. No time to prepare. A sharp knock echoed through the Lin house. Heavy. Authority carried in every strike. Helen woke first. Her heart already racing before she even opened the door. Two officers stood outside. Calm. Formal. Unyielding. Jason Lin, one of them said. We have a warrant. The words fell like a blade. Upstairs. Jason froze. For a second, he didn't move. Didn't breathe. Then panic hit. This is insane, he shouted, stumbling out of his room. There's a mistake, there has to be. But no one stopped the officers. Not Victor. Not Helen. Because for once, there was nothing to say. Mia stood at the top of the stairs. Silent. Watching. Jason's eyes found her. Desperate. Mia, he yelled. Do something. The same words. The same expectation. Just like before. Her fingers tightened slightly on the railing. A reflex. A memory. But it passed. I'm not involved, she said. Jason stared at her. Like he didn't recognize her. You can fix this, he shouted. You always fix this. Mia's expression didn't change. Not this time. The officers stepped forward. Jason struggled briefly, anger turning into fear. Dad. Say something, he demanded. Victor stood still. His face pale, but controlled. I'll handle it, he said. A promise. Empty. Because even he knew. This was beyond control now. Jason was taken. Just like that. The door closed. And the house felt hollow. The news spread fast. This time. Loud. Executive of Lin Group arrested in financial investigation. Cameras appeared outside the company building. Reporters waited. Questions sharpened. The Lin name. Once respected. Now carried suspicion. Inside the house. Helen broke first. This can't be happening, she whispered, pacing the living room. Her composure was gone. Her voice unsteady. We just need time, we can fix this, she kept repeating. But no one answered. Lily sat quietly on the couch, staring at her phone, but not really seeing it. Victor stood by the window, silent. Thinking. Always thinking. And Mia. Mia stood apart from them all. Untouched. Unreachable. That afternoon. Helen came to her. Her steps were hesitant. Uncertain. Mia, she said softly. Mia turned. Helen's eyes were red. Her voice trembling. Help us, she said. Two simple words. But they carried everything. Regret. Fear. Dependence. You've always helped us, Helen continued. You're the only one who can. Mia didn't let her finish. Last time, I did, she said. Helen froze. What? She asked softly. Mia looked at her. Calm. Last time, she repeated, I lost everything. Helen shook her head slightly. Mia, I don't understand. You don't need to, Mia said. A pause. This time, she added, you can handle it yourselves. Helen's face crumpled. You're abandoning us, she whispered. Mia's gaze didn't waver. No, she said. I'm just not saving you. That night. Victor finally acted. He called Mia into the study. The room felt colder than usual. Heavier. I need to know something, he said. Mia stood across from him. Go ahead, she replied. Victor's eyes locked onto hers. Did you do this? He asked. The question hung in the air. Mia didn't react. No, she said. Not a lie. She didn't create the crime. She just let it exist. Victor studied her. You knew, he said. Again. Not a question. Mia didn't deny it. Yes. Silence. Victor's jaw tightened. You could have stopped it, he said. Mia's lips curved slightly. Not a smile. Something colder. So could you. The words landed harder than any accusation. Victor didn't respond immediately. Because for the first time, responsibility pointed at him. A knock interrupted the moment. A staff member entered. Nervous. Sir, there's another notice. Victor took the document. Read it. And for the first time, his composure cracked. What is it? Helen asked, stepping closer. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The paper said enough. Charges filed. Against him. The room went silent. Helen staggered back slightly. Lily covered her mouth. And Mia. Mia simply closed her eyes for a brief moment. Not in pain. Not in regret. But in recognition. Because this was the moment everything collapsed. The same moment she once stood in. Alone. Later. Noah found her outside. The night air was cool. Quiet. It's all coming down, he said. Mia nodded. Yes. He looked at her carefully. You really didn't try to stop it, he said. Mia met his gaze. No, she replied. A pause. Do you regret it? He asked. The question lingered. Mia looked up at the sky. Dark. Endless. Then back at him. No. Her voice was steady, certain. Because this time, she said, I chose myself. Behind them, the Lin house stood tall. But inside, everything was already broken. The verdict came on a quiet morning. No rain. No storm. No dramatic build-up. Just a clear sky. And the end of everything the Lin family once believed would never fall. The courtroom was full. Not with supporters, but with spectators. Curious eyes. Whispered judgments. Mia sat in the back row. Alone. Not hidden. Not afraid. Just, separate. At the front. Victor stood straight, even now. Dressed perfectly. Composed. Jason sat beside him. But he was no longer the same man. The arrogance was gone. Replaced with exhaustion. And something deeper. Fear. Helen sat behind them. Her hands clenched tightly together. Eyes hollow. Lily wasn't there. She couldn't face it. The judge's voice echoed through the room. Calm. Final. Charges listed. Evidence confirmed. Decisions made. There were no surprises. Without interference. Without manipulation. The truth had unfolded cleanly. Victor Lin. Guilty. Jason Lin. Guilty. Sentences delivered. Not rushed. Not cruel. Just, inevitable. Helen broke into quiet sobs. Jason lowered his head. Victor didn't react. Not outwardly. But his stillness felt heavier than anything else. Mia watched. Not with satisfaction. Not with revenge. But with clarity. Because this was what it always should have been. Truth. Without sacrifice. Outside the courthouse. Cameras flashed. Voices shouted. Mia Lin, are you involved in the case? Did you know about the investigation? Will you take over the company? Mia walked past them. Unhurried. Unbothered. No answers. No explanations. For the first time. She owed no one anything. Days passed. The Lin house emptied. Rooms once filled with control and expectations. Now silent. Helen moved out quietly. Lily followed. Not together. Not as a family. Just, people trying to survive what was left. Mia didn't stay. She packed lightly. Left early. No goodbye. There was nothing left to say. Her new apartment was small. Simple. But it was hers. No pressure. No expectations. No roles to play. Just space. For the first time. She slept without waking in fear. For the first time. Silence felt like peace. A week later. She went somewhere she hadn't planned to. The prison. The same place where, in another life, everything ended. She stood outside the gates. Still. Quiet. The air felt different now. Not suffocating. Not heavy. Just, distant. A guard near the entrance glanced at her. Visiting someone, he asked casually. Mia shook her head. No, she said. Then after a small pause. I already did my time. The guard frowned slightly, confused. But Mia had already turned away. On her way back. She saw him. Noah Park. Leaning against his car. As if he had been waiting. You disappear easily, he said. Mia stopped. Not really, she replied. You just stopped looking before. Noah smiled faintly. Fair enough. They stood in silence for a moment. Then he spoke again. It's over, he said. Mia nodded. Yes. But the word felt different now. Lighter. Most people would feel something, he added. Mia looked at him. I do, she said. He raised an eyebrow slightly. What? He asked. Mia thought for a moment. Then. A small, genuine smile appeared. Free. No hesitation. No doubt. Just truth. Noah studied her. Then nodded. That suits you, he said. Mia didn't respond. But she didn't deny it either. They began walking. No destination. No pressure. Just forward. As the city moved around her. Busy. Unchanged. Mia felt something settle within her. Not revenge. Not victory. But balance. Because this time, she didn't carry what wasn't hers. She didn't disappear for someone else's survival. She didn't break so others could remain whole. This time, she simply lived. That night, Mia stood by her window. The city lights stretched endlessly before her. Bright. Alive. Her reflection stared back at her. Not the girl who once sacrificed everything. Not the prisoner who died forgotten. But someone new. Someone who had walked through loss. And chosen herself anyway. She closed her eyes briefly. And whispered. This life is mine. Outside. The world continued forward. And for the first time, so did she.